Maybe you've just experienced a traumatic call or something that really unsettled you, and we're going to talk about a step-by-step process that you can follow and some important caveats from someone who's been there so you can move through this experience rather fluidly and not have it drag you down. Welcome, hotshots, to Firepower X. This is the place where we help you stay one step ahead of stress as a firefighter. And who am I? I'm Jess. I am a former firefighter and a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner. What the heck is that? That's a personal trainer for your mind. And on this channel, I want to give you mental performance strategies so you can stay unbothered at work and at home. So some caveats. The first one is I am a mental performance coach. I'm not a clinician. So my perspective on this may be different than a therapist, and that's okay. If you want to go that route, you are more than welcome to, but my goal on this channel is really to get ahead of things, to recognize the deeper processes that are happening in your mind, particularly in three areas: with your attention, your story, and your habits, that you can intentionally shift to have a different experience, because that is really what we're working with when we talk about our mental performance, is those three things. That was my first caveat. My second is that time-wise, as you move through thinking about this thing that just happened, your mind may flash images of the incident to you again. Why is it doing that? I like to think about it as getting high. Your brain is looking for a fix, because when we experience something novel that is really high arousal, we have a flood of neurochemicals. And it's a peak experience, maybe not a positive peak experience, but it is. It's something that may never happen to you again, may only happen to you once in life. And your brain likes to show it to you again in order to trigger those chemicals again. The important thing to do is recognize that's happening, but also not get caught up in it. So many people get caught up in the invasive thought or invasive image, and then your little internal narrator creates a story around it of, oh, this shouldn't be happening. I shouldn't be experiencing it again. Oh no, I'm not in control of my own mind. Oh no, all this like negative chatter. And then what is the habit that comes out of it? Sometimes people freeze. Sometimes they zone out. Sometimes they feel terrorized. They have reactions of feeling really disempowered. We want to be careful not to create a feedback loop around your brain doing this, showing you images. Just allow them to be there. Can you simply observe your mind doing this and recognize, oh, it's looking for a fix? Because it was a very intense moment. Things that we label as traumatic is really what it means about us. We can experience something with a degree of separation as a first responder when it's someone else's problem. But when it crosses the threshold of becoming traumatic for us is when we somehow make it mean something about us. Did I do everything I could? Should I have done something differently on this call? Should I have XYZ'd instead? It's usually self-doubt of, did I perform to my best? Could I have changed the outcome of this by doing something differently? In order to combat that, I want you to start forming beliefs, bigger beliefs that are protective, because you are a first responder, and we need to have foundational beliefs that will buffer us against that self-doubt. Some of the good ones that I've heard over the years, or I have developed myself: if you are a religious person, God decides. I do the best I can, but ultimately it's God's call of how this call turns out. It's God's choice. That's one, if you are coming from a religious perspective and that jives with you. If you're not, that's okay. Another one I've heard that's good, that's in a similar vein of, it's a privilege for us to be in these final moments of people's lives, of the worst moments of their lives. It's a privilege for us to be there. We were not the ones who got them into this situation. The choices that they made, the circumstances that happened previous to us arriving on scene, that's their stuff that we had nothing to do with. Even if we arrived and we didn't do as much as we could, or we wish we had added something else into the mix, It was a privilege for us, and we did the best we could with the information we had in the moment in order to assist them in this moment of crisis. You weren't the one who caused their emergency. We're working with a team. We were all contributing to these final moments. It was all of us together. It wasn't just one person. Thoughts like that tend to buffer us from creeping into places of self-doubt. Those are the caveats I want to give you, but let's get into step by step what to do, how to come down off of this call that you've had, this incident. I'm going to teach you the stop, drop, and roll maneuver. Stop, drop, and roll is what I teach to all of my clients. It's the foundational thing of how to move through things that are unpleasant, things that are stressful, things that are traumatic without identifying with them. I talked in last week's video, and go check that out, about how to not take trauma on as part of your identity, that you get to choose. You don't have to do that. Stop, drop, and roll allows us to experience the reactions that we're having, let them come up, observe them, and then let them pass on to wherever they're headed next. Imagine if you were sitting in front of a campfire, and it's pleasant, it's a wonderful night, the campfire is in front of you, and then you were to sit up from your camp chair and go stand in the fire. Ow, 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 no, it's burning, it's hot, ouch, oh, it's so painful. Now step out of the fire and sit back in your chair. There's a difference, and I know you could feel that, you could see that and feel it in your mind's eye, between standing in a fire and reacting to something and sitting and observing. And this is how I want you to stop, drop, and roll. When you have images come up of that incident, when you have big reactions, when you have anger, grief, sadness, fear, whatever it is, big kind of feelings and sensations come up, think of it like fire. It is mental fire. And if you stand in that fire, it will consume you. It'll burn you. It'll hurt. You will suffer. It's painful. But if you can create that little bit of gap in your perception of experiencing it, sitting in your camp chair instead, having just a little bit of distance between you and the fire, you can sit with it and observe it without it hurting you and affecting you and changing you and becoming your identity and making it your all. You're going into firefighter mode on yourself. Like when you watch someone on scene, you're there with them. You are present with them in their grief and their pain and the worst day of their life and their crisis, but you're not identifying as the one having the issue. Let's go to the actual process. What do? Let me guide you. So when we have something come up that's big, in our mind, we are re-experiencing the incident, we're seeing it, we're having a big reaction, we're going to stop, drop, and roll. Just like when you catch on fire as a child, we were taught to stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. You're going to stop. You're going to recognize I'm on fire right now. This is really active in my mind. I'm experiencing it. It hurts. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I'm in the fire. We're going to drop back. Think of yourself like dropping back into your camping chair. Step out of the fire and drop back, and then let it roll. Let the reaction, the sensation, the feeling, if it's coming from your body or your mind, the images, if you're seeing images, just let it play out. What happens when you do this? When you stop, you drop back, drop out, drop wherever, and let it roll. You're being there for yourself. You're not self-abandoning. It's often because we're suffering that we self-abandon. This is the opposite of that. This is literally detaching yourself from the experience so that you can be there with it and feel it, but feel it from a little bit of a detached perspective of like, this is the traumatized part of me that is experiencing it, that is on fire. You can even see it as two versions of yourself, the victim on scene and then your firefighter version. See it as two different versions of you. The firefighter version is standing there witnessing the victim part of you experience this. And just be there with it. Be there with it. Feel it. But not feeling it from a place of being all consumed by it. I know this is making sense to you. If you have any questions about how to do this, reach out to me through the email on the YouTube channel. But again, this maneuver that works consistently when applied. You got to do it for it to work. So try it out. Let me know what you find. And check out that other video on firefighter PTSD to get more information and kind of a deeper perspective on how we allow traumatic things to change us and how we are ultimately in control at the end of the day. And with this maneuver, that's how you can do it. This is how you can move through those really intense experiences without taking it on, making a story about who you are, that you're broken or something's wrong with you or you're not healing from this or you're not whole. You can move through that stuff and just be with it as it is. And you know what happens? It starts to go away. The reaction's quiet, the images quiet, the flashbacks quiet, because you're not creating habits around them where they perpetuate. So if you found value in this content, give us a like or a share and consider subscribing to the channel for more mental performance strategies just like this one. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.